Hello everyone, Pingle from Spiel Times here, and I'm so glad you're watching this video. So this video is about all the questions that people asked us on Death Stranding subreddit. Actually, we hosted an AMA on that subreddit after publishing our review. So yeah, if you haven't checked out our review yet, you can just go to our website and read the 3,000 word long review, or you could just watch the 17-minute video review. So both of them are good and there's no spoilers, so don't worry. So we hosted this AMA where Caleb Weiser answered as many questions as possible, and people had some really interesting questions to ask. So I'm not editing this video, like I'm not cutting and like doing transitions and stuff. I'll just read out the most important questions, I think, according to me, and I'll read out the answers. So even if you're not watching this video, that's fine. You can just turn on like keep the audio on. You can just listen, and this would be good. So you'd get a ton of information once this video is over. Yeah. So let's start. The first question is from user Philip Dairy 92. He says, if I loved Metal Gear Solid 5, will I love Death Stranding? So Caleb writes, hard to say. They're so different, other than both being open world, although again, this world is very different. It's not an action and stealth based game like MGS5, although there are some action sequences and some stealth sequences. They're few and far between. I was also pretty disappointed by MGS5 story-wise, and I really enjoyed Death Stranding's story. There's a lot more story and cutscenes spread throughout, although the average length of the cutscenes is shorter. Okay, I'm getting some notifications. So, Assassin Boss underscore CRO asks, so cutscenes are shorter than in TPP? That seems really short. Do you get a bunch of cutscenes after every main mission? Are those cutscenes just talking in some building? Are there some cutscenes like Raiden versus Vamp in MGS? Are side quests all repetitive and boring in a way that you only talk to holograms as a reward and get some item? Do some cutscene trigger in the world or exclusively when you finish your delivery in buildings? Are outposts all the same? Do mules talk at all, or does anything happen in outposts? Thanks in advance, man, means a lot. So yeah, Caleb replies by saying, MGS5 had a small number of pretty long cutscenes, and this game has a large number of shorter cutscenes, okay, and then some longer ones at a certain point. I hope that makes sense. The average length of the individual cutscenes is shorter, but there's tons of them, as well as codec calls and hologram conversations. But you don't get a ton after every main mission, usually a short hologram dialogue and sometimes a codec call. And answering to the next few questions, he says, no, the cutscenes are not talking in buildings. They go all over the place, to the beach, outside, some of them are in the private room, etc. The side quests are repetitive in so far as every mission in this game is repetitive. They're all about delivering something from A to B, but they have a variety of ways to do that, and I would say side quests potentially have a bit more variety than the main quest. For instance, you'll be asked to deliver in a short window more often, or keep something in a certain condition more often, etc. And the rewards are usually pretty good, like connecting another part of the network or unlocking a useful new item. And the mules don't talk. The outposts are basically the same, but they don't all look the same. Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, so Almar Hubby asks, what difficulty did you play on? Is the game as easy as they say, and do you think playing it on hard will actually make it challenging? So Caleb says, I played on normal because I think it's fair to evaluate games on the difficulty most people will play on. Fair enough. I tried hard for a bit, but it's not a difficult game in the traditional sense of having really punishing combat encounters. My enjoyment of the game did not really come from what difficulty there was either. It came from exploring exploring the systems, charting routes through the world, and playing around in the interesting sandbox. It's almost more like Minecraft or No Man's Sky or something, A lot of it is about navigation and construction. If you want something really challenging, you're probably gonna be disappointed. Former Cantaloupe asks, do you know if different difficulties share the same chiral network? Example, if I leave a ladder somewhere on normal mode, will someone else be able to see it in hard mode? So Caleb says they will. You can change difficulty at any time through the menu, and my structures did not change when I changed difficulty. Okay, that really actually sounds good. Yeah. Big King 12 asks, would you say there are a lot of surprises while exploring? Caleb says, not really. The surprises come in the story. Yeah, I have seen a few, cutscenes like after major missions, and they are mind blowing. So you're gonna love them. And it's not really about exploration in my view. The world is not that interesting to explore. It's interesting as an obstacle course that you have to learn how to navigate and chart a course to get to your destination, but not really that many surprises. There are BTS, there are mules, there are player build structures, and there's a lot of landscape. Easter egg, so yeah, Caleb didn't find anything. Weren't you bored in the open world without these surprises? This is from Reshes. To which Caleb says, not really, but I like playing around with systems in sandboxes, and this game has a lot of complex systems, and the sandbox is interesting. Boom Spark asks, are there several wacky items akin to the otter hat revealed in the Conan trailer? Yeah. So Caleb says, one of the central mechanics in the game is a canteen that somehow turns rainwater into monster energy drink. Oh my god. Take that for what you will. Timefall Monster Energy, Lamau, yes. Okay. This is Kojima Charm I signed up for. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, this guy actually pre-ordered the collector's edition. So it says, turning, okay. So Red Leather Sofa asks, no question, just, he doesn't ask actually. No question, just wanted to say thanks for the great post. With all the toxicity right now, it was a very refreshing read. Wow. Okay. Okay. Pop's Nest asks, "Hey, just a quick question. I'm totally aware of the repetition aspect of the game, since even the highest reviews mention that. But how much of a turnoff does that play out? You're just doing deliveries, and cities, etc. are all similar. But is that game breaking for someone that does not enjoy repetitive or bland games? For example, I find Shadow of Mordor or War repetitive enough and not great games, as well as Assassin's Creed Odyssey with all the same naval combats. So I personally really hated Assassin's Creed Odyssey because I still like those old Assassin's Creed games. Like Revelations is still my favorite, but that's my opinion. But yeah, let's see. So in few words, I want to ask if the game itself stand out so much to overcome that repetition and not be seen as a main negative point, as in the games I mentioned above. So Caleb replies, it's gonna vary so much from person to person. That's why it's such a difficult game to review. For me, it was not a turn off, but I found all the systems really fun to play around with, and I just viewed every mission as trying to plot another route through this large obstacle course. And it was interesting trying to balance the packages I needed to carry with the other items like weapons or ladders or anchors, which are all physical objects on your body that take up space like the cargo does. I did not enjoy Shadow of Mordor either, for what it's worth. Okay. The answer to this too. Okay, this is by him. This is by Almer Hobby again. I like the answer to this too. For example, MGS5 was a repetitive game. You infiltrate, extract, or eliminate, but I did not find it repetitive at all because of the progression and how the level design and AI constantly changes and presented different challenges, which forced me to change my strategy. Did he reply though? I don't think so. No, there's no reply for this. Sorry. Mm, okay. Aiden 2 asks, hey, thanks for all the answers. I want to ask one question as well. What about the story? Would you say that story is smart and compelling and that we get answers on what is happening? Is story satisfying? Would you say this story is Death Stranding's strong point? Thanks. So Caleb replies, you will get answers. Not everything will make perfect sense, but it's more just because some stuff is typically silly. Kojima, mules are former delivery people that have become so addicted to delivering packages that they roam the landscape looking for any packages they can steal. Oh my god. But there are answers, and most importantly, there's emotional resolution. Okay. It feels like the emotional threads are tied up in a satisfying, powerful way. I'm actually surprised how smart it is because I was kind of disappointed by 4 and five's approach to their themes. It's not just saying we need to reconnect, we need to rebuild, we need to come together. I would be very disappointed if that was it. The game calls a lot of things into question, and there's a lot of nuance and ambiguity in the way it tackles those themes. Hope that helped. Nice. Let's see all the replies. Okay, there's a lizard in my room. Thanks, man, for I'm glad it. Okay. Why you gotta spoil the mule story, buddy? It's something you learned really early on. Sorry, it's not okay. Do you have any favorite character in Death Stranding and what reason? Yeah, it's from Irina Anuri. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. I'll talk about 3, Mama, because Margaret Qualley's amazing performance. She really acts as the emotional center of the story and is the voice of reason when everything seems so bizarre. I guess Caleb also mentioned this part in his written review. Yeah, I don't remember clearly, but yeah, he mentioned these performances. Fragile because because of the amazing performance from Leah Sadox. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong again. So much good acting in this game. And because she's so ambiguous and hard to pin down whether she's your friend or your rival. And Higgs, again because of the great performance of Troy Baker. Oh, yes. So, what happened during when Caleb was reviewing the game, he sent me a clip of a cutscene where I can't go in much into detail, but yeah, Troy Baker's performance was really, really good. Like he's already like excellent with his performances like portraying Joker in the animated series, and also my favorite Joel from the Last of Us series. But yeah, even in this game, he's totally fabulous. But he's just so vile and villainous, reminded me of the great MGS villains. Kind of campy and over the top, but just really physical and sinister. Yeah, you can tell he had a lot of fun with it. Hmm. Yeah, he actually did. So yeah, this is a good question. It's from Lelela 1991. How's the music by Ludwig Forsell? The score is wonderful. I went in more depth in my review, but it's some of the best video game music I can remember since Nier Automata. Oh, speaking of Nier Automata, one of my friends gifted me the game to try it out because of its beautiful story, and I guess it's a pretty good game overall, but I haven't got the time to completely like immerse my like get myself into the zone to play the game. So let's see. Wonderful music and great licensed tracks. Number 2, you think it would be fun to play the game again, going different routes than on your first playthrough. Absolutely, the world is always changing too because of the social system, so that will add even more replayability. Awesome. Days Gone Freaker Fest says, the more I read from you, the better it gets. This is exactly what I want from this game. You found some nice stuff from other players. A lot of the useful stuff I found were structures that made me recontextualize what I was seeing. Why is there a ladder there? Why is there an anchor there? That type of thing. So it makes you consider paths you would not have otherwise considered. I haven't heard Forsell's score yet, but I love this music in Nier Automata. Really looking forward to playing Death Stranding. Yeah, it's not quite on that same epic, grandiose scale. Okay. So Big King 12 again, I guess. Maybe. Are there more weapons than you would think there is? Yes. Are there any interesting or weird weapons aside from bola gun? There's some interesting stuff that I can't go into specifics about because of the embargo restrictions. But yeah, there's one in particular I'm thinking of. Okay. Yeah. So Ecoswill says, so my favorite game is MGS2, and I can say it's probably because of its atmosphere, meta language, and the way that the story was ahead of its time, dealing with problems we have nowadays. My question is, would you say that this game is similar to what I said? Thanks a lot for your time. So Caleb says, to some extent. It's definitely not as profound and ahead of its time as MGS2, but very little it is. But if you enjoyed how subversive that game was and the mind aspect of it, where it turns themes on its head and flips them, you will probably really enjoy that Stranding. I think it may be my favorite Kojima game since MGS2, but I need time to think on it. But I was not as fond as 4 and 5, and to a lesser extent 3, as many others were. Okay. It definitely has that MGS2 feeling in some sections. This sounds good. Okay. All right. Lola Palulza asks, is the game paced in a way that gives you convenient points to stop or start play sessions? Yeah, you can save at any point outside combat or a cutscene, and you can pause or skip any cutscene. How is the replayability? Asks Hakachow. After finishing the main campaign, how difficult is it to 100% complete? So Caleb has not finished 100% yet. So he says, I really can't say how difficult it is to 100% since I'm still working on it. There's still plenty of side missions left in my world. I answered another question about the replayability, so if you want a longer response, scroll down. But in short, yeah, okay. I guess we will reach to that point. So I just won't read the 2 lines remaining right now. What is the style of new game? There's no new game plus. If you start a new game, it overwrites your save file, so keep a backup on a thumb drive or in the cloud. Okay. No new game plus support like so far. Is there any way you could think of for people to hinder or troll other players rather than help them with construction? Like placing something somewhere that would actually be a detriment to other players if they come across it? Caleb says, not really, because if it's a ladder, you can always just climb back down. Ditto with an anchor or anything else I can think of. You could do something that's mildly annoying, but not to seriously hinder them. I think the game is very keen to ensure that the social system is about positive reinforcement, not negative reinforcement. Reinforcement. As it only lets you vote up, not down. You can only give likes, not dislikes, etc. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. This Mr. Smith 1466 asks says, you've covered a lot, so thank you. My question is simple and hopefully falls under what you can say. BB's theme is a thing of beauty. It is actually in the game, or was that purely for the launch trailer? A bonus question. Die Hardman is a name that's I can't decide if it's the greatest or dumbest name Kojima ever gave us. It's certainly greater or dumber than Hot Cold Man. Is that name ever justified in the game? More importantly, is too ridiculous to be taken seriously. So about the BB thing, Caleb says, it's in the game. I kind of wish he had not used it in a trailer because hearing it for the first time in the game is such an amazing moment. Okay. And for the bonus question, he answers, it is explained. I don't know if it is really justified though. Here's the thing. A lot of my issues with the story are areas where it feels like Kojima came up with something first and then just made up lore to justify it in a way that makes it feel a bit goofy. He liked the idea of enemies who steal packages, so he came up with the fact that they are addicted to the high from delivering packages. That seems kind of ridiculous to me, but it's an explanation. Kind of like you will feel ashamed of your words and deeds. He wanted Quiet to wear a skimpy outfit, so he came up with some explanation for it after the fact. Nothing as bad as that though. So yeah, the a question about weather. So Zomboid05 asks, is there a day and night cycle in this game, or is it predetermined based on the mission? Caleb says, it seems like it all takes place during a fairly cloudy, overcast daytime. Sometimes it gets darker, but I believe that's just the weather and cloud cover. There's not a proper day-night cycle. How many chapters are there and are they divided up in episodes? Asks Davy Machine Gun. 14 episodes, no chapters. So what you meant to say was I can't talk about plot details after episode 3. Yep, you are right. I keep calling them chapters by mistakes. Okay. Okay. Just to clarify, it's only plot details that are being hidden under wraps. Now post episode 3 it seems. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is from Antori97. Can you replay episodes? Not without reloading a save. Can you pause during cutscenes? Yes. Do you think there are aspects of the game similar to nuclear disarmament thing in MGS5? Like stuff that will fully need community's cooperation? So the answer to this, it's almost like every moment of the game is like that. To some extent, the community cooperation is really about building up the game world's structures and traversal options, so it's already there to an extent. I did not realize Caleb answered so many questions. This is from Braden Gunn. I've got a few questions if you don't mind answering. If you were to personally rank Death Stranding amongst Kojima's other games, whereabouts would you put it? That's an interesting question. Caleb says, I'm sure my list will be very different to most people. I would say MGS2 first, Snatcher second, Metal Gear Solid third, Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake fourth, Death Stranding fifth, then MGS3, MGS4 and MGS5. I'm sure my placement of MGS3 will be controversial. I've grown to enjoy it more, but at the time I was disappointed that it was not offering the MGS2 style mind games I loved so much, and I did not care for the jungle setting. But I definitely appreciate what it's trying to do more in retrospect. Haven't played the original Metal Gear or Police Knots, although I really want to. But that's my current list, subject to change. It's why reviews like this are difficult, because they're not really a considered view with years to develop, but more a first reaction straight after playing it. The second question is, does Kojima's use of recognizable celebrities, not just the likes of Norman and Mads, but also the cameos such as Conan O'Brien, ever break your immersion in the game, or does it help the world feel more realized? That's a great question. Caleb answers, that did not break it, no. But what did kind of break it is seeing people speak with a voice that sounds so different from their real voice, like with Guillermo. The disconnect between voice and body did kind of draw me out a few times, because I know what Del Toro sounds like, and that ain't it. But that's mostly because I'm a Del Toro geek who likes to watch interviews and stuff. Third question is, from your experience of the game, how much do you think the multiplayer will change the experience that day one players will have compared to the experience of those who pick up the game in a year or two? I really wish I knew. I think I'm gonna pause my second playthrough until launch day so I can see how that changes. I'm curious. It was funny seeing names I recognized like Yong Ye with so many likes. Yeah. So during his review, he told me that Yong Ye's creations like leathers and other stuff were very popular within the community. So they got a bunch of likes. Yeah, this is from SailJ250. Another question, how long did it take you to beat the story, and how long is it taking you to platinum 100% the game? Are the trophies hard? It took a bit over 60 hours. I can't speak to 100% or platinum time, but I would like to get the platinum eventually. I haven't really spent much time in the trophy list, so to see how hard that would be though, okay. How did the game leave you feeling after you beat it? I was very satisfied. Not read of any technical issues, so assuming the game runs fine. Yep, very stable. 30 FPS at least on Pro. A few loading stutters when transitioning from gameplay to menus and the likes. This was a question from an ancient one. Did you find it tense and scary at times? Big King 12. Okay, Big King 12 asked a bunch of questions, I guess. There are definitely moments where it's suspenseful and tense, but not really scary. It's not a horror game, but it can be suspenseful. Uh, okay. Yeah, this is from Almar Habi again. I heard Sam is almost a mute character. Is that true? How would you compare him to Venom Snake from MGS5? He's not almost mute. He speaks a lot, but he does not have a lot of personality. He is very guarded, very gruff, very pensive, very much the quote unquote tough guy. He's definitely a lot more present than Venom Snake, but he feels a bit like a missed opportunity. He becomes more interesting in later sections though. Mm, okay. Let's see what other interesting questions we have. Yeah. This is from Les Zo. Are there any collectibles? Let's say that I want to explore the world for a while. Can I find something useful there, resources, or it's just like a waste of time? Not really collectibles, but you will find abandoned parcels with valuable resources and lost cargo, which are essentially mini side quests that ask to be delivered at a specific location. As far as I understand, killing mule or slash homo demon and leaving corpse behind would cause a void out. Can I take truck or slash other vehicle with myself, kill some enemies and throw those corpses on it, then get back to base to dispose of them? I don't think you can carry enemy corpses, I'll have to check, but I definitely don't think you can load them into vehicles. Okay. How's Mads Mikkelsen as Cliff? How much screen time does he get? I can't. Oh, okay. He can't talk about it. Are there cassette tapes, audio logs in the game, like in Peace Walker or MGS5? No, instead there are emails and interviews, transcripts that fill out more of the lore. But it's not like MGS5 where so much of the story was told in tapes. Yeah. This is from Lord Falky Perum. Does the breathtaking environment make walking a whole lot worth it? It's definitely breathtaking, and I never stopped being blown away by it. But it's less how the environment looks and more what the environment is that makes it worth it. I think navigating the obstacles is fun, and plotting out new routes and figuring out how to tackle the terrain in your way is also fun. Mm, okay, this is an interesting question. This is from Jocelyn Lay. I guess this is the second question. I don't know. So he asks how Kojima handles the female characters this time. So Caleb replies, so much better than MGS5. I was very, very critical of the MGS5 because I thought Quiet was an awful character and it just felt unnecessary. It's almost the complete opposite. I wonder if he did it on purpose. But the women of that stranding are the most interesting characters. Lee Sedox as Fragile is I'll just check how it's pronounced because I don't want to pronounce it wrong. Sorry for the interruption.
Leah Sadu.
Okay, Leah Sadu. I'm really sorry. Leah Sadu as Fragile is fantastic, but the real standout is Margaret Qualley. Her performance as Mama is so powerful. They have tons of depth and personality, and it's the men this time that felt a bit less interesting, although they have their moments. Okay. Oh, thank the Lord. Thank you so much. Okay. No replies to this, I guess? No. Do you know if the difficulty. Okay. I know the game is not combat form. So basically, a lot of questions regarding content post episode 3. So Caleb was not able to answer to those. But I think once we are free of the embargo, that is after the game releases, we would be able to talk a lot about the game. But then again, you will be playing the game yourself, so no point. This is a long thread. Yeah, it is. So let's do it. It's from King Mob 555. Thanks for doing this. Good idea. His first question is: any idea whether the difficulty setting alter anything in the game aside from player and enemy life bars? Definitely not. Pretty much everything in this game is outdoors. That epic feeling you described comes more when a huge new landscape comes into view, and one of the licensed songs on the soundtrack will often start rolling in those moments. Okay. The second question was one thing that was disappointing to many in MGS TPP were the lack of interesting interiors to explore. I understand this game has a different focus, but did you ever get that epic feeling of reaching an interesting oh, okay, this was already answered. I know it's dangerous to keep comparing this to MGS, but would you feel comfortable personally ranking it among those games? Does it have, okay, he already ranked it and we talked about it. Let's see what else he has to say. Basically nothing in this thread. Okay, these are 11 questions together. I'll just go like straight bullet point. This is from Thyroid Melanin. Are all characters well written? Did any of them disappoint you? For the most part, I wish Sam was a bit more engaging. He can feel a bit bland. Deadman is a bit too flippant and goofy at times. It does not always mesh with how dark the tone of everything else. But I loved Mama, Fragile, Hartman, and some other characters I can't talk about. The acting is uniformly excellent. Can player build construction be disabled without having to go offline? I'll have to dig through it. Okay, he hasn't checked it. Each time I reboot the game, will I have the same constructions or I will get different ones? Some structures pop in and others pop out, but it does not wipe every time you reboot. Okay. Is it possible to change shoulder while aiming like in MGS5 Uncharted Max Payne? You can change shoulders at any times during exploration too. Can you show us the trophy list? I guess no. Can we change subtitles? For example, if I want to have the dialogues in Greek but the subs in English. Yes, you can. I'm not sure how many options are there for every region, but there are separate options. Any emotional or creepy moments? Both. Did you ever run out of resources? There are separate resource pools for each way station, but in general, you should have enough unless you are doing a lot of building. The roads seem to eat up a lot. You probably won't be able to answer this, but yeah, you'll be able to complete other missions. Okay. Do you make a cameo in this game? Lol. I can neither confirm nor deny. Did your PS4 go jet mode with its fan? Was it noisy or normal? It gets loud. This game seems like it's really pushing the hardware. Luckily, my PS4 is not one of the really loud ones, but I could tell it was louder than normal. Okay. So yeah, I guess that's fine because this is DeathStranding is one of the few last like current gen games that coming out for the PS4, and next year we're gonna get the PS5. So yeah, good for both the parties, both Sony and Kojima Productions and the man himself. After the game is okay, he did not answer this. A few questions. This is from Curious Dad. Can you pause the game? You can pause it, including during cutscenes. How does saving work? You can save anytime that is not a cutscene or combat. And are there long stretches where you cannot save? I would not worry about this. It makes plenty of autosaves too, and you can go back and load from a list of saves, including autosaves and manual saves. Okay. Getting worried about the online aspect. Okay. This is from Lee Kappa 14. Okay, so I've been getting worried about the online aspect of things, specifically that lost cargo mechanic. From what I've gathered, you basically just run into others' lost cargo and you could deliver them to their destination or just put them in a postal box thingy. Did you ever deliver them? And if you did, was the destination too far away from your main objective? Because I really don't want to go to the other side of the map for some small parcel, but I also feel like delivering these things is a must. Thank you. So Caleb says, sometimes they... Okay, let the train pass. I live near a railway station, so that's a problem. Let's see how many questions we have left. It's Lee Sado.
Leah Sidhu.
Leah Sado. Okay, sometimes they're close to the objective, so I just did it, but you won't really have any issue just dropping it off at the nearest waypoint or post box. You still get a reward when you deliver them at a post box. It's just not as big of a reward as you would have got if you would have gone all the way yourself. You will learn not to pick up every piece of last cargo though. Every bit of space you can save on your suit is incredibly valuable, and the payoff for delivering lost cargo is not that huge. You get a lot of resources and likes from doing other stuff. So basically, you are an Instagram model. First of all, thank you for the review and answering questions. You really bring some positivity in here. I have only one question. This is from Dark Hand Commando. Is it true that void out craters remain forever in the world? I can't really say. This is one of those mechanics people are going to have to spend a lot of time exploring and really detailed afterward. It's not easy to get all the answers on void outs while also having to evaluate all other mechanics. The important thing is that they will really just they are really just there as a deterrent to prevent you from killing. I think a lot of players will go through the entire game without a void out. Alright. These were some questions he did not answer. Sorry, back in 2001. Wondering the game has profound moments or memorable moments that will last on time or not. Absolutely. Okay, this is from SPJS. Do you think the game would work well for a Twitch stream? Like, would it get boring for viewers or fun for them to backseat? Does the gameplay require a lot of attention that chat could get distracting, or would chat be helpful for the player? Hard to say. I think an interesting streamer could make it work, but it's not that suited for backseating, I guess. It's probably not gonna light up the Twitch market, but there's an audience that will enjoy watching other people play it. If I hate walking simulators and super slow storytelling but love games, books, movies from the new weird genre, think Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer, controlled by Remedy Games, David Lynch, Twin Peaks. Will I enjoy that Stranding, or should I wait until more review material is available? Hard to say. I would say Twin Peaks has quite a fair share of slow storytelling. I did not really cover it in my review. They both give you something the audience wants and then provide a lengthy period of time to process it, slowing down the pace. It's hard to say, but I love Twin Peaks, and Control is potentially my game of the generation, and I loved Death Stranding as well. Like I said, it's about simulating walking and hiking, but it's not a walking simulator in the pejorative sense people use to describe games, just the literal sense. But it's very new weird. Okay. Yeah, this is from Rick Roy, 37. I failed to get into Zelda Breath of the Wild because I dislike that Link's weapons broke frequently and the emphasis on crafting potions. Are there similar mechanics in Death Stranding, and how emphasized are they? So I had similar issues with Breath of the Wild. This game does have a durability mechanic that applies for pretty much every item. At least speaking for myself, I found that in Breath of the Wild, I had a habit of just using the worst weapons and then saving the really nice ones in my inventory for some future battle. And then at the end, I realized I just had tons of leftovers. But in this game, everything is literally disposable, so there's no reason not to use it. You can craft as many weapons as you want at any way station, and resources to craft them are plentiful. So it's not a big deal if they get damaged. You can just literally recycle them for resources and make another. What other side missions like? This is from Tom Stone. Ain't that bad. Are they compelling, emotional, and immersive like Witcher 3's? Fetch quests like Skyrim? Something in between, kind of like Horizon Zero Dawn? Let me guess, no. They are all deliveries. A small number of them are fetch quests in the sense that they ask you to recover a parcel from one location, usually BT infested or otherwise treacherous. treacherous and bring it back. Don't expect anything like The Witcher 3 or Horizon Zero Dawn here. The side quests are just deliveries with terminals, and you will get a short hologram conversation thanking you and sometimes a nice new item. Nope. It did not feel okay. This is from Delayed 0310. More so on the balancing mechanics, does it feel like a core, I don't know how it's pronounced, to be continuously adjust Sam's posture while walking, or is it more of a gimmicky non-factor that faded away after a few levels? Neither. It did not feel like a core, because I enjoyed having to constantly making those adjustments and really monitor my weight balance. But it never fades after a few levels. It's always there, and it's always something you have to pay attention to. It will feel like a chore to some, I think, but not to me. Really sorry for this again. Let's see how it's pronounced as well. Cho.
Cho.
Okay. How big are the combined maps in the game compared to, say, Red Dead Redemption 2 or Horizon Zero Dawn, if you played those games? They are large but not massive. Horizon Zero Dawn feels about right. Definitely much smaller than Red Dead Redemption 2. Yeah, this has been answered. I guess that's it. Oh my god, there have 321 more replies. I guess that's all. Yeah, that's yeah, they are not as important as the questions and answers I just read out. Yeah. So that's it for this video. I guess you got all the information, at least all the information that we are allowed to talk about at this point. So thank you for watching, and do visit us after 8th, yeah, or after 7th, I guess. Once the game is released globally, we'll have some more content regarding the game, like including guides and stuff like that. So yeah, make sure to check out. And thanks for watching this video. Make sure you share this video with your friends who could make use of this information, and subscribe for more. Until next time, happy gaming. Whoops, I have to stop it as well. Just let's wait for it to reach 43 and I'll press the stop button. Not editing this video at all because it's too long for me to edit. Yeah, of course. 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, and bye.